In order to hello everybody, in order to be on track, we will start this event for now. My name is Yanayos. I will moderate this stream for this afternoon. The first session comes from Luxembourg. Fernando and Simon, Senior Data Loss Specialist at CTG, will present us everything around Zero Data Loss Recovery Appliance from Oracle and the integration with other technologies. Fernando is also Oracle ACE. Last information concerning the organization. If you have any question, please use the question and answer box. We will go through them at the end of the session, and during the 5 to 10 minute break between the session, we will try to answer some of those questions. I hope everything is fine for you. Fernando, you can start.
Yes, everything's fine. So first, I would like to thank you for Swiss Oracle Using Group for inviting me to do this presentation. Thank you so much. So my presentation today is for ZDLRA, Zero Data Loss Recovery Appliance, and MAA. So how we can integrate both, and the reason, and how to reach the zero RPO to all the infrastructure. So safe state harbor, normal one, basically say that this is my opinion and not for my company, just that. Since I'm Oracle ACE, I invite you to participate of Oracle ACE program. Sharing your knowledge can be by post, social media, and Oracle forums. So goes there, share knowledge, and participate in the program. So me, I'm senior database specialist in Luxembourg. I work now for CTG. My contacts are there, my email, my personal blog, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So feel free to join and contact me. But basically, I'm not from Luxembourg. I'm living in Luxembourg right now, but I came from Brazil. From there, I worked since 2004 and worked for Court of Justice as a head of DBA team from 2010 to 2017. Working with XID since 2010 and ZDLRA since 2015, 14-15. I had participated in our community in Brazil, and I'm in Luxembourg since October. I started with European Commission, and now I'm inside of a bank institution with MAA architecture, design, infrastructure is like that. But let's start about the presentation. So since presentation is about availability, what do you think that is availability? What's the principle? So basically, it is availability of the information. You need to have zero impact of the environment. It's not some kind of way that you have work for just one specific storage, one specific network, one specific hardware like HP, Dell, IBM. It's not like that. Needs to be easy to operate, needs to sustain your compliance. Maybe you need to have 24/7, and your application needs to continue to work. Application continuity. It's not just data continuity, data availability, but application continuity. But we can resume in 2 words: RPO and RTO. Recovery point objective and recovery time objective. So the idea is how much data you're supposed to lose or you can lose, and how much time you need to put everything back again in case of outage. For sure that we want both zero, but we need to understand that they are different. Sometimes you need that your data is available whenever it occurs. You can have outage. Your data needs to be until the point of failure. But in case of failure, you can have some 1 day, 2 days, 3 days to put everything again. But your data needs to be until the point of failure. This is RPO 0. Sometimes you need the RTO. So if your primary data center is down everything needs to switch to standby data center. This is recovery time objective. This is RTO 0. So you need to understand that they are different, okay? But in real life, okay, what we have? We have data loss because since the last backup. Sometimes because of maintenance, you have lack of synchronization. You have mixed environment. You have one storage for one player like HP. The backup is from EMC. The standby environment is not the same of primary, so you need to test, validate, and now you have cloud. So for sure that is not easy as the papers say, but this is real life. We have mixed environment. You need to handle this, and this is complex. But Oracle came with zero data loss. But what is the point for zero data loss? So what is zero data loss? It's an engineering system like Exadata, and it's Exadata based. This means that it's not just hardware. It's not the fast hardware that you have. It's the fast appliance, but you have intelligence like Exadata with SmartScan. You have the recovery appliance library that basically helps you to handle backups and other details. I have a replication, and you can use with Exadata Cloud on Customer. It's not yet available for the cloud to use at cloud, but you can in the future will be available. But the point is that you have one appliance that is delivered to you to handle the data loss, to help you with the data loss. And if it helps you with data loss, this means that is for RPO, recovery point objective, is to reduce your RPO to 0. So your data is there. Your backup is there, your archive logs are there, but it does not reduce RTO. So if you have one outage in your storage, your database does not run inside of ZDLRA, but your data is there, your archive logs, your transactions are there. And I will explain how this works, okay? And the idea is to show you how you can use ZDLRA, how you think different. It's not just for backup. It's not just one appliance that you just do the backups. It's go beyond of that. It's more of this. Is protection. Is zero data loss. And this is the idea. And I will show you how this works. But basically, what you have inside of your appliance when you receive. So inside of this appliance, you have one Oracle database running. You don't need to tune there. You don't need to change this database. But this database is responsible for three big things. Two, whenever. Storing the backups and the archive logs, backup policy, metadata information. This backup policy, like this backup needs to stay here for 1 month, 1 year. And these backups are stored inside of the called Delta Store. Delta Store is just the place, a table space or a place where the data is stored. It's just that. And this space stores the backups and archive logs. And to manage this, you have a simple Herman catalog. And this Herman catalog is self-driven. This means that everything that is inside there is validated. Means validated is cross-checked. If you work with backups, sometimes you need to restore one backup. And you need to restore the content file. Just this simple example. You restore the content file. But what's happened? You need to validate, cross-check. In this case, this is not the case for ZDLRA. The backup that is stored inside of the Delta Store is validated. If your new backup is replicated, the data appears automatically inside of this Herman catalog. Okay, and you can manage with command line interface, but as well with Enterprise Manager, Cloud Control. So you have everything, and you can manage backup from Oracle for sure, and for Oracle 10 to Oracle 19, from RISC and CISC, AX, Windows, Linux, Solaris. Block size of 2K to 1632. If Oracle runs database, ZDLRA can do the backup and the archive logs. So this is nice because you cover all the platforms, okay? But what is the feature called virtual full backup? Because if you read the documentation, you see virtual full backup. What is virtual full backup? Think about that. How works the backup of archive log? The backup of Herman. Herman generates one package, and inside of this package, you have the blocks of the database, data files. Okay, so ZDLRA receive this backup. Okay, like a client with EMC networker. In the past, Legato, TSM, receive this backup by the client, by the library, and open this Herman package. And inside of this Herman package, it check, I have the block 1 from data file 1, block 2, 3. So it generates an index, a plan, a matrix with all the blocks. And with that, inside of ZDLRA, you have an index for all the blocks of your data or of your backups. It's like a historical database. Okay, think about that. So you have all the backup, all the data. So, and this works different of the duplication, because the duplication does not handle what is inside of the package. And what is inside of the package that, like EMC data domain receive, is just do a checksum of the block that we receive and see if already it is inside of the data store of the EMC data domain. Is different because it's content aware. ZDLRA can see what is inside of Herman, and when it's not just see, is can validate, can check if this block inside of the Herman package is valid against corruption, logical and physical. But if you do an incremental backup, what's happened? If I have one full backup or all blocks there, and I have just the new one that I made today, I can generate a new full backup for you. And this is the idea for the virtual full backup. I have the changes every day, and I can generate a virtual full backup. This means in this change nothing inside of Herman, this is just one example, it's not the focus for this presentation. And you have to list one example, okay? I have the incremental level 0 backup, okay? Normal one, we've made a normal command, and I have incremental level 1 that I made after, okay? But look that, they are different types. They have different SCNs. Incremental 1 is one SCN, incremental 1, different one. But now I have a new one, incremental level 0. So, but look, they have the same SCN. Why? Because Oracle merged these two backups. Simple like that. You have all the blocks, you have the new blocks, and generate a new one. So you don't need to do a new level 0. Think about how much time you reduce in your maintenance window. How much network traffic you reduce? It's space saving because I don't need to store for 3 months, one full backup each weekend. This is interesting. But this is not just the only feature. You have the replication. So you can have one data center with one ZDLRA in another one. So you can replicate from one way to another way, bidirectional, both replicate each other, one to many, and the replication is done as soon as possible. So now you can start to understand how ZDLRA will help you. Because if I have one database in one site, I can have in another site another one replicated. So it's like that. I have one site, one copy, the second copy, that is another ZDLRA, the same for incremental level 0. They are copy. Now you can understand how you can help you with MAA. And you can clone to tape. You can clone to have to copy to tapes. You can copy to cloud. You can do directly copy with Oracle Security Backup. It's done automatically, and you can base it in your what you want. I want to clone just one tag, Herman tag, mensual backup. I want to clone every Monday backup. You can do that. You can backup. You can clone to tape just incremental, just level 0. You can do that. So it's easy. It's not complex, and works like the others. You have a second copy, and this is the point. Everything is automatic, done automatically. But the main feature for MAA is real-time redo transport. What is the idea? So zero data loss and real-time redo transport is the part of zero data loss, because this is real-time redo recovery point objective 0. Why? Because it's simple. ZDLRA is a log archive destination of your database. Just that. You don't need to configure a fancy detail, a fancy data guard. No, you just go there to your database and point log archive dash 2 to 3 whenever to ZDLRA, like you do with data guard. The same command is there. And another point that is interesting, you don't need to have data guard license to do that. And this works independently of the edition. You can have a standard edition and work with this. This is interesting. And another point, if you have a crash in your database, ZDLRA generate archive log for you automatically. Okay, I'll show you. So this is a normal example. I have my last archive log ahead is 90. I archive log the current. I never executed the backup, and the backup is available for me automatically for me. But okay, a fancy example. I'm doing insert, 2 threads, doing a simple insert. I'm just inserting inside of the database. Sorry, it's not working. I'm just inserting, okay? And I have outage. The last data was committed, okay? And the next one failed, okay? But remember, 1016 and 646, the last data that was inserted. Okay, I try to restore and say, corrupted. So I have data loss. I lost my storage. So I start to restore the environment and the restore backup and whatever. And when I check the archive logs, I say, let's see. I check the last SCN that I have. That is the same. If you check, just to return here, is the same time that you occurred the failure. You see? And if I restore, I have the same numbers. And I'm not using data guard. I'm not using RAC. I'm not using, and this is a single instance that I created for the test. Simple like that. But how does this work for MAA? Why it's important? Okay, so what is the idea for MAA? The MAA is to reduce the downtime. And you have some kind of architectures that you can use. You have some reference: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. You have the links, but you go there to MAA website. They change these every 6 months, so you can access that and you can check. The focus is to reach 0 RPO and 0 RTO to reduce your planned and unplanned downtime. This is the MAA architecture resume. Just that. But if you check, just a moment. But if you check, how ZDLRA can help you? Think about the real-time redo. This is the main feature that is there and that is used. You can have your single instance and be there. 0 RPO. I'll show you in details. But today, there is no MAA without ZDLRA. If you go to the reference right now, go there and check what is the feature that is listed to be used. Can be optional for sure, but is there. to be used since the silver, since the silver one to the bronze until the platinum is ZDLRA is there. So today there is no MAA design architecture if you not consider ZDLRA. So let's talk about the bronze. Is single instance. It's basically your database with directly storage attached. You can have inside of the same machine. Can be a virtual machine with database running inside of the files. So it's transition environment, and let's check the idea. So the idea is you have your database. Oh, I lost my mouse. Sorry, I lost my connection. No. So you have your bronze architecture. You have it here. So single instance, and you have backup time to time. So in case of a hardware error here, you lost until the time of your backup. The same for database software error and so on is the same. This is RPO is bigger than 0. But if you have ZDLRA, if you have a hardware error here, if you have a hardware error here, your RPO will be 0 because the last transaction is in here. If you have data corruption, you can restore of archive log. It's there, and you don't pay more because of that. For sure that you paid for ZDLRA, but you don't pay more for that. All the information that you have is there, and you can have you can say, yeah, but I have a site outage. Okay, but I have a replication for ZDLRA that is done as soon as possible. So if I have a complete outage here, fire in the data center, I will create with the cloud provider here in Strasbourg, if I remember. But I have the second here. So, okay, maybe I lost some details of transactions, but most of your data is there. And ask for your developers. What is the production? Is the dev databases, and usually the dev databases are run like this: a virtual machine, a single database, single instance, not a RAC, and so on. But the silver, for the silver architecture, you start to use a RAC. You have a Exadata, maybe you have one storage, you have a shared, you have a cluster. Okay, you can have even a data guard inside of the same data center in case of you run some kind of production. So you have a data guard. So in case of, in this point, if you have a data guard, hardware error here, it switched to the second one. If these storage are not the same, you can have some kind of protection, but this depends on the architecture. And it's the same for a RAC, Exadata or RAC, whatever. If I have outage here, for a RAC, as example, a hardware error, if the error occurs in the storage, you can have data corruption. If the error occurs inside of the PS power supply for the machine, is different. Okay, so depends of the error. Okay, and the data corruption will be until the last backup. If your archive logs were 1 hour ago, you lost 1 hour. This is the idea. And with ZDLRA, for this architecture, you have a real-time redo. The idea is the same. So if you have a hardware error, software error, data corruption, you can have 0 RPO because you have an external place where your second copy is there, and again, real-time redo. And if I have a second site, I can do a replication from one to another one. In this case, I don't have data guard, just to remember you, because your SLA don't need that. Maybe is the point. But and you have the gold, the platinum is just increase the environment. But one point important for the gold architecture, where when you have data guard in the process, is In case of outage, think about that. This is the gold. This is the gold. And if I have outage here, what's happened? What will be the protection? You draw back this gold to a silver. If you have a outage in your primary data center, you need to switch to the standby. You reduce your protection. You have to return until the last backup. This is the point. So, and if you use ZDLRA, you have an external copy. This is the point. You have data guard protection and sync the sites, but each site you have a ZDLRA to protect you. Think about this is when you think about the architecture, you think about the protection. The same for Platinum is a higher. You have data guard inside of same data center, and you have data guard replication, golden gate replication between sites. It's the same, it's more protection. But with ZDLRA, you can reach real-time redo, 0. Real-time redo, you can reach RPO 0. But the point is that, think about your environment. This is an example today. I have my site 1 and site 2. Okay, I do the backups. Okay, I made the backups. Okay, but the backup is timed. Whenever his backup of archive log or whenever happens, if I do archive logs for 1 hour, each hour I have 1 hour of data loss in case of outage. Because of backup of archive logs, I can even have backup in the. If I have standby, I can backup in the other data center. I can backup there, and I can even clone from here to there. So I can copy this to there to have a clone. Okay, I can have this, but this is time-based. I do this 1 time per day, 1 time per week. This depends of your SLA. But this is time consumption. You need to do this every day. You need to check if the moves are working. This move can be done based in storage, a snapshot, a clone, or something like that. So it starts to be complex because you need to handle with a lot of extra details. Okay. But how does work with ZDLRA? And now I put the I use we put the monolith in the middle of the data center. If you remember the black monolith, you put this guy inside of the data center. And what's happened? All of your databases, your gold, that is just a single instance, a virtual machine runs standard edition. Your RAC, Exadata, whatever. You can clone backups to cloud, but the point is that you have backups and the real-time redo, you have protection with 0 RPO. It's the same Exadata, protects all of them. You can have a second site to have data guard. Okay, it's not a problem. But you still continue to have real-time redo. You can still protect, you have a third copy. You have multiple copy of your transaction, your archive logs. So with just one feature, one appliance, you can have protection. But you can have a second. If you have a second site, you can have a second ZDLRA. And if you have databases running in another site, so you use devs for one kind of product to run in one data center and develop and test and run in another data center. But you can have both inside of ZDLRA, and you can copy to cloud or clone, whatever, and you can replicate. So you have multiple protection of your backups, of your databases, because these backup, they are there. Because of the replication, they can be there. And this is the same for that one. They came here, and because of the replication, you have multiple copies. In case of outage here, of the storage, or even the entire site, you have a copy because of the replication. But okay, you have a problem with the storage. This storage failed. Okay, what's happened? You lose data. No, you don't lose data because you have in your time redo. So if the outage occurs 10 hours and 57 and 32, this will be there because of the real-time redo. Because of that, it's the same. The data is there. So you, for sure that for this database, maybe you don't need to return as until the last moment, or you don't need to return as if failed needs to switch to a data guard on the same moment, but your data is there because the SLA is to have RPO 0 and not RTO. And instead, your protection is there. This is the point for ZDLRA and MAA. How you can integrate everything, because with just one appliance, you can protect all your environment. And this is the idea of the presentation, just to show you that today, if you think about design the protection of your environment, ZDLRA is important because it's go beyond of backup. It's zero data loss, and not just for the data guard, it's for the RAC environment, it's for the single instance. And for sure that inside of your environment, you have these databases, you have single instance for developers, the test, UAT, and you have production. And maybe you have production running inside of single instance. So this is the idea. This is integration, how you integrate both to have zero RPO. This is the point. This is how you integrate ZDLRA and MAA. And today, as I told you, and you can see in the image, I just copy all of the architecture, all of them. What is the feature that is there for all of them? And here, I don't have even RAC, it's a single instance. I have recovery appliance. I have RAC databases. ZDLRA is there. I have data guard. I have copies. What is there? ZDLRA. I have Golden Gate replication inside of same data center. What's there? ZDLRA. So today, if you think about protection, architecture and design, ZDLRA is there.
Fernando, we are just...
yes, I finished it. It's just to say that this is the point. This is the point of the presentation. So think about that.
Okay, many thanks. I was also checking the Q&A box, and currently we do not have any open questions. So that's why you had some additional time. Also, if somebody wants to put a question, please feel free. Use the opportunity of having Fernando on board to get your question answered about zero data loss recovery appliance. Okay, so if we don't have one or questions, I would like to thank you, Fernando, for this presentation.
Thank you so much.
To be honest, I also learned some additional features about the appliance. It was very interesting. And yeah, so people are welcome to stay on this stream or to use the link to go to the other stream. Yeah, Fernando, hoping to see you soon.
Yep, I hope to see you in Switzerland. Yep, and I thank you again, Swiss RAC User Group, for inviting me. And you can have my Twitter is there, my email, so you can use to contact me, no problem, and it's there.
I'm sure the participant will. Okay, thank you very much, and then we have about 10 minutes break until the next presentation. Thanks again for your...
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.